What if the strongest friendship in BTS turns out to be not as beautiful as it seems? Is there a hidden force separating Jungkook and Taehyung? A shocking fact is finally revealed: Jungkook's own mother allegedly forbade Taehyung from approaching her son. Was HYBE involved in the drama that changed everything? Shocking facts revealed. Jungkook's mother forbade Taehyung from being close to Jungkook? What's behind the HYBE wall? What is really going on behind the glitter of the K-pop world that looks perfect from the outside? Why in the past few months, fans have felt such a strange distance between two of the most iconic pals from BTS, Jungkook and Taehyung? Is this really just an ARMY feeling? Or is there something bigger, deeper, and more alarming hidden from public view? All that changed when one word leaked out. Reportedly, Jungkook's own mother personally raised very serious concerns about Taehyung's closeness with her son. A simple sentence from HYBE's insider shattered the calm that had been built up over the years, not because of Taehyung, but because of something that once happened, which cannot be repeated. The sentence hangs in the air, leaving more questions than answers. What exactly happened? Did Taehyung hurt Jungkook? Or, on the contrary, did Jungkook's mother meddle too much in matters that should be their personal domain? Why did HYBE choose to be silent? And more importantly, what are they hiding? It all started with a small change. Jungkook, who used to look comfortable when he was with Taehyung, now seems to avoid eye contact more often. Taehyung, who is known for his gentle attitude towards Jungkook, now only gives a slight smile full of burden. The cameras captured moments of their togetherness that used to be filled with laughter, now turned into a quiet pause that hung. In a world full of hectic schedules and extreme stress, perhaps only they know the inexpressible pain, but no one thought that the cause could be the mother figure, the woman who gave birth to the golden magne, who is now suspected of interfering too far. What is the real reason a mother forbids her son's old friend from approaching? Is it related to something from the past? Could this be related to an old incident that was never made public, which could damage BTS's reputation if exposed? An anonymous source from Jungkook's close family circle mentioned that the mother felt negative energy begin to permeate Jungkook whenever he got too close to Taehyung. But strangely, the opposite happened. Fans noticed how Jungkook seemed happier when he was with Taehyung, freer and more true to himself. Then why does the mother feel exactly the opposite? There are also rumors that a big fight has happened in the past, not between Jungkook and Taehyung, but between Taehyung and members of Jungkook's family. A dark moment that allegedly occurred behind closed doors. Even HYBE staff were not allowed to touch on the topic. But what if that spark of emotion that once existed has now grown into embers ready to burn the foundations of their friendship? What hurts the most is the fact that Jungkook himself seems to be caught in the middle. Between loving his mother and feeling comfortable with Taehyung, he has to choose. And in each of his recent performances, it is clear that the burden is too heavy even for a superstar. Taehyung himself never directly responded to this issue. However, some time ago, he wrote a mysterious phrase in his personal account. People can move away, not because it is not love, but because love is unacceptable. That sentence made an impression in the minds of millions of fans and was immediately associated with Jungkook. Is this a silent confession? Does Taehyung feel loved but not allowed to reciprocate in the same way? Then, how did HYBE react? So far, they have chosen silence. But the fans began to demand an explanation. They no longer believe that this is just a matter of individual busyness. Too many clues, too many silent cues that connect with each other, forming a clear pattern. Even in the last variety show they attended together, Jungkook seemed reluctant to sit next to Taehyung. And when they finally talked, there was a pause. There was an awkwardness that even the camera could not hide. Now, one question haunts everyone. Is this the end of the relationship they've had since trainee days? Does Jungkook's mother really consider Taehyung a threat? Or is there something much more complicated, an internal conflict, an inner wound, or even something that cannot be explained with just words? Not a few ARMY who shed tears to see their interaction is now cold and limited. They are like two poles forcibly separated by an invisible field, one fan wrote on social media. Some even say that this is emotional manipulation on the part of a larger party. Can HYBE really be as clean as they show? Or are they working on a strategy so that the spotlight is not too intense on this dangerous proximity? Even more alarming is the fact that Jungkook himself is starting to look like a lost cause. He is increasingly solitary, not even as active as usual on social media. His last interview was filled with ambiguous phrases such as, "Sometimes we have to lose something we love the most for the sake of those who want to protect us." Is this an admission that he was forced away from Taehyung for the sake of his mother? Question after question continues to loom. Is it true that a mother can so strongly influence the emotional relationship of her child? And if it's true that Jungkook's mother forbade Taehyung to be close, will Taehyung just give up? Or will he fight? In his own way, that night, during Jungkook's solo concert, Taehyung attends. But not in the front row as usual. He was in the corner of the room, almost hidden. But the camera can't lie. Her tears fell as Jungkook sang a song about unexplained loss. Was it intended for him? The deeper we dive into this conflict, the clearer it becomes that it's not just about two best friends growing up together. It's about feeling, pressure, power, and sacrifice. It is about love that cannot be called love. About invisible boundaries, but wounding far deeper than anything the world can see. I ask this the beginning of a painful end for Taikook? Or is it a test that will prove that true friendship can weather any storm, including a mother's ban? Only time can answer, and maybe one bold decision from one of them, before it's too late. But reality is much more bitter than mere conjecture. Several former HYBE staff who are no longer under contract began to open their voices. One of them, who used to accompany BTS members' personal activities, mentioned that there was a closed-door meeting between Jungkook's mother, HYBE's party, and a senior management staff. The meeting was not held at HYBE's office, but at a private venue outside Seoul. The goal? To discuss Jungkook's future, and one of the main topics of surprise is the bad influence that Taehyung allegedly has on Jungkook. Why can Taehyung, who has always been known as a close friend, be called a bad influence? What made Jungkook's mother feel the need to intervene on her own? According to the source, Jungkook's mother feels that Jungkook's closeness with Taehyung is no longer within the boundaries of two best friends. There is a fear, perhaps also a deep anxiety, that the relationship is developing in a direction that the family side does not want, and even HYBE herself. The source revealed, if they continue to be together, there will be huge consequences to BTS's image and future. Does this mean that not only the family, but also the company begins to perceive Jungkook and Taehyung's closeness as a threat? Meanwhile, many fans suspect that the reason behind all this is not just family jealousy, but the fear of explosiveness, of emotions that may not be able to be controlled if left unchecked. For a long time, the interactions between Taehyung and Jungkook have always been full of intensity, eyes that stare at each other for too long, hugs that seem more meaningful than just group mates, and moments of mysterious whispers that are never explained to the public. At a BTS concert a few years ago, Jungkook once cried on stage while saying one name, Hyung, and although not specific, almost the entire audience knew who he meant. The camera panned to Taehyung, who looked down, trying to hide the expression on his face. Was that the moment where everything changed? There are also old records from their behind-the-scenes documentary showing a heated argument between Taehyung and one of HYBE's managers. At that moment, Taehyung said in a high tone, "You don't know what he's going through. Don't make him who he isn't." Emotional statements that further corroborate allegations that Taehyung is trying to protect Jungkook from something or someone. Now, theory after theory is emerging in the ARMY community. Some believe that Jungkook's mother's ban was actually a form of protection, that he sees the emotional and mental stress his son is experiencing is too great when he is too close to Taehyung. But there are also those who actually feel that this is a form of control, that Jungkook and HYBE's mother are afraid of something bigger than just a friendship relationship, something that could shake the foundations of BTS's image in the eyes of the world. What about Jungkook? In the midst of all this stress, he looks like he is trapped in a complicated maze of emotions. In a recent interview, he said something that has torn the hearts of many fans apart. "Sometimes I feel like everything I love one by one is being pulled away. I can only be silent because even sound can be a weapon." The sentence does not specify to whom it is addressed. But the context, expressions, and pauses in his tone made ARMY convinced. It was for Taehyung. And Taehyung? He chose silence, but his weapon is art. In one digital painting post, imagine that you are one of the millions of people who witness the interaction of two people who you believe understand each other more than just colleagues. Taehyung and Jungkook. Two names that from the beginning of their debut to the heyday of BTS have never been separated in a sweet story frame, full of laughter and untold whispers. But now, all that's changed, and the question becomes more and more acute. Why is someone behind the scenes trying to stop that closeness? What really happened until Jungkook's own mother intervened? The last few days have seen dramatic changes. In an interview with Japanese media, Jungkook appeared stiffer. Usually he is spontaneous, warm, and sometimes seductive. But now the answer is short, flat, and as if filtered first. Surprisingly, every time Taehyung's name is mentioned, even if only in the context of a group project, his facial expression changes. There was a pause. There is a suppressed sense of shock. Dan, there was a look towards the staff behind the camera, as if asking for directions. Is HYBE now really censoring her emotions? On the other hand, Taehyung begins to show subtle signs of rebellion. She posted photos of her past with Jungkook on her personal Instagram, though without a caption. Just a date. A date that only the two of them can understand. One of the posts showed them sitting on a rooftop, wearing the same hoodie with the cryptic caption, 1741. No one knows for sure the meaning of that time. But ARMY quickly linked it to a time when they were once caught on camera talking tearfully backstage at a concert. Is this a form of silent protest from Taehyung? Or is this a secret message that only Jungkook can understand? Even more surprising is the news that Jimin, the figure who has been a counterweight to Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship, is starting to move away. He was no longer seen among them. No photos, no triad moments like they used to be. There is a surprising theory among fans that Jimin may know something too big for him to reveal, even to the ARMY. Some sources say that Jimin was actually the one who first learned of Jungkook's mother's decision to keep her son away from Taehyung. And even more surprising, on one occasion, Jimin is said to have tried to speak directly to Jungkook's mother, pleading that the relationship not be forcibly severed. But the meeting supposedly ended unfavorably. Jimin came home with a blank expression and never mentioned it again. Who, then, feels threatened by their closeness? Is this purely out of concern for a mother who sees her son too fragile in the presence of someone who can make him cry and laugh in an instant? Or is this due to the pressure of the K-pop industry system itself, which does not make room for two deep relationships between two men? In an interview that was never aired in the public media, a well-known Korean journalist admitted that he had been approached by representatives of HYBE. They asked him to screen some footage of Jungkook and Taehyung's interactions from BTS's documentary, especially the part where the two seemed too close, too emotional, too honestly. The reason? To maintain BTS's professional image and global image. But the big question is, since when has honesty become a threat? And as if that wasn't surprising enough, a Korean popular culture observer gave a statement that has now gone viral. What HYBE and the Jungkook family are doing is actually a modern form of emotional control. They do not prohibit with words, but they limit the space to love. That sentence shook the hearts of fans around the world. The surprises didn't stop there. A few days ago, in a very brief and mysterious live session, Jungkook walked into Weverse and said only one sentence before disappearing. I still remember everything, even when they asked me to forget. Instantly, ARMY knew this is not about the ordinary past. It's about someone. And almost no one doubted that someone was Taehyung. Anger, sadness, and helplessness now dominate the ARMY platform. They are not only sad because of the possibility of Taikook's relationship being separated, but because they feel lied to. All this time, they believed that BTS is about love and freedom. Now, however, love seems like a sin, and freedom is just a sweet word in the lyrics of the song. Does HYBE know that they are not only managing the artist's schedule, but also meddling in the affairs of someone's heart? And what if it turns out all this is just the surface of something darker? Something that they have not been able to admit, because if it is revealed, it will shake the foundations of the South Korean entertainment industry. Something is possible. Can you change the world's perception of BTS? That night, Taehyung posted another story. This time, it's just a photo of the night sky. There are no stars. There is no moon. But there's one little sentence in the bottom corner of the picture.